In this video, I'm going to show you how you can adapt your sleeve block to create a pattern for a sleeve with a gathered head. You'll end up with a pattern that looks a little bit like this, where you can see that extra fullness has been put just into the section around the sleeve head, which would be gathered to take in that fullness. You can see some sleeves here with gathered heads, where the fullness is all around that top part over the shoulder. We'll start by tracing the block. I'm just going to trace a short sleeve, so I'll be using the elbow line to mark the lower edge of my sleeve. So just trace around the block until you get to the elbow line. I just want to add the fullness into this section here around the sleeve head, so I'll be dividing this portion of the sleeve up and just manipulating the very top part around here. Start by drawing a line across the sleeve head just above the back notch. And then I want to divide this section into 5 pieces, roughly equal. So I'll create a wedge in the centre to begin with, and then just roughly divide what's left in the front into 2 and what's left in the back into 2. Then I need to cut out the sleeve and cut this section off. I'm going to number these sections here as well. So if I just number them to 5. Now I've cut that sleeve out, I want to cut this top section off. I want to just mark where that middle point is, here. And with this section, I'm going to just cut out each of these pieces. So this is why it's useful to have numbered them, so I know which is going to go in which order in case they get mixed up while I'm cutting. Just move this to one side, and I want to draw a line on the paper. And that will just help me if I place my lower part of the sleeve onto that line with the centre point matching the line, and then I can start to piece my sleeve sections and making sure that my number 3 piece, the centre of that also sits on that line. And I want to create some fullness around the sleeve head, so I'm going to be spacing these pieces apart. Pieces 1 and pieces 5 will still be joined or touching that line, and then the other pieces I'm just going to create a small gap between each of them. Once you're happy with how you've spaced out your sleeve, you can then fix your pattern pieces in place. And now that's fixed in place, I'm going to trace that pattern and add in all of my pattern markings. When I use this pattern, I'll be gathering this section around the head. So I need to mark on the points at which I'll be gathering. And as you can see, all the fullness is really from this point here, added in between sections 1 and 2, between 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and 4 and 5. So I want my gathering to go from here round to here. So mark points above sections 1 and 5. I'm going to add in 1 centimetre of seam allowance all the way around the pattern. I'm going to mark a notch for the sleeve seam as well, and to do that I'll just measure up 6 centimetres from the bottom of the pattern. To mark the grain line, I'm going to use my original block and just offer that onto the pattern and just mark that notch in the centre there, and use that and the marker at the top of the sleeve to mark in the grain line. And to finish, I'll cut out the pattern. And this is my finished pattern piece.